Welcome back, Dune lovers. You think you're ready for the deep desert? Let me present you the starter kit you need to gather the most spice, titanium, stravidium, blueprints from Mark 6 location, fastest ornithopter, everything. Okay, let's start with number 1 and 2 at the same time. It's the tall cut array and also the compact compactor MK5. And I get a very easy way to grab them and the hard way. Why the tall cut array? It has the same titanium and stravidium yield as the Mark 6 cut array, but it doesn't cost you plastanium ingots and spice melange to make, and you also don't need to have an advanced survival fabricator. The tar is being simply made out of duraluminum. And then we get the compact compactor with a gather rate of high and a warm attraction intensity of medium. It's only a Mark V compactor and is vastly better than the normal Mark V industrial compactor with the warm attraction intensity high and gather rate only medium. Compact compactor is going to have you swim in spice. And you guessed right, it's also simply made out of duraluminum. Let me first show you the world spots where you farm them, and then the easier method. For the tall cut array, we're flying to the Udum, and in the top right corner, all the way on top of this mountain where the House of Ilm is, you get the Stone Step Village. Land on the tippity-toppity, store your ornithopter, jump down to the tarp, and then over to the stairs. There'll be a chest. It drops a Mark IV loot and also a good Mark IV engine, but it can also drop that Tarl. My recommendation for farming is go here on a not too busy gaming day, and then log out and log back in every 45 minutes to actually get the item. The Imperial Testing Station can also have it. The House of Ilm has a chest that might have it, but it takes longer to go through there. And right on this marker in the Udum is another location for the tall array. That being said, there is an easier method. Before we get to that though, where do you actually get the compact compactor? And that would be in the deep desert A row as you enter. Every single research station, and we have 6 right now, can have the compact compactor. It's actually worth it to go through these A-row research stations because they will drop you parts for your assault ornithopter already. My assault ornithopter, I only crafted the cabin, cockpit, and the tail, plus 2 wings. The rest of the stuff I found in these research stations. Now, how do we get these 2 items simpler and faster? You want to travel to Arakeen or the Harker village and then run all the way to where the bank is, because that's also where you can find the Choem exchange. By the point you reach the deep desert, you should have around 300 to 400,000 Solari, or I don't know what you have actually been doing. Go over to gathering gear, the hammer, and then check unique schematics. Scroll all the way down, tall cut array. I can buy mine for 98,000, easy peasy. And then you're also looking for the compact compactor Mark V. And that in my case would also be 98,000. Perfect. I actually paid 120 and 80k, so 200,000 Solari in total. But now I can craft them. I can repair them. I'm good. Took me 5 minutes. And even if you need to farm that money, it's faster to farm the money than actually to get it by farming. And while you're already here, check for another blueprint. Those would be the soft step boots. And for soft step boot, it doesn't matter if they're iron, steel, aluminum, or whatever. They give you minus 45% warm threat. And you need this because when you're farming spice, you're going to compact, stab, compact, stab, compact, stab, or compact, 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 stab. You're generally just creating way less warm aggro. They're fantastic. We did a whole video confirming that they actually work. Go for armor, unique schematics. And right now they would only have the Tabber soft stab boots. That would be plastanium ingots. Nah. The tall soft step boots, they can drop from the crashed ships around Misateril and also the Sheol. That's where I got mine. But they also drop from the research stations in the A-row and the shipwrecks in the A-row, the green ones. Lower tier soft step boots you can get during your journey in any testing station. If you're lucky, you're lucky. If you want to do the research station after the A-row, D, G, F here, they have Mark 6 opponents, which are vastly more durable and do more damage. I currently have a Mark 6 blade because I was lucky to pick it up, and it's quite amazing. I can kill these things even solo. Would never recommend doing this solo because it takes too long. Do it as a team. You definitely want to have a full set of duraluminum gear. I wear 2 heavy pieces and 2 light pieces for my melee setup, and I haven't yet died in a single Mark 6 dungeon. And for your weapon, if you're using gun, you definitely want to have a duraluminum unique schematic. Something like the 5-finger triple shot or you're going to use Thufir's best, Way of the Desert. You're not going to use one of the green guns. All these tier 5.5 weapons you can get from the Shale here, Wreck of the Delphis, and down with the Wreck of the Euphoria. They're dropping them left, right, and center. Also, the Deep Desert A-Row Wrecks give you those as well. Do recommend, though, to stay with melee, as melee is just king. Don't forget to get your 5 a Mark 5 shield and a Mark 5 generator, that they're not just blasting you into smithereens. For the armor schematics, you have at the eastern and western shield wall the Aegis and also the Passage of the Artemis. In Misatero, there is Beast Claw bottom left, and then in the Sheol on top you get the Edge of the Acheron. There's a video linked in the description below that gives you even more drop spots for great equipment. Water-wise, I recommend you carrying around 1 decaliter John. You will be spending in the deep desert a lot of time in the sun, as you're then mining resources, gathering dust, cutting open ships, and you quite deplete your water over time as you're not really paying attention. I mean, if I'm compacting spice, I don't care if I get sunburn, right? Have your decaliter John fully filled up. You'll thank me later. It does help to put points into sun tolerance from the Bene Gesserit. I just didn't have more points than 1 to spare yet. And when it comes down to your Ornithopter, in the long run, you definitely want to have the Assault. Scout versus Assault video in the description below. For your Scout Ornithopter, you definitely want to have a Mark 5 engine and also Mark 5 wings. The rest can still stay Mark 4. It doesn't matter. It's just more armor, a little bit more fuel efficiency, heat generation, whatsoever. But with the engine and with the wings, you're going to be faster. You're going to glide faster and you're going to ascend faster. And what's the first piece of equipment you should build when you get into the Plastanium products, when you actually are able to make things for Spice Melange, you finally have tons of things going on? Well, I made myself a weapon so I can farm even more blueprints because I really wanted it. That being said, your first item should be the Scout Ornithopter wings and the Assault Ornithopter wings because you're going to spend time flying around. Cut that time down by having more speed. Interesting enough, if you build yourself the Advanced Weapon Fabricator, for example, if I now want to build a vehicle part, I will just demolish this item and build myself the Advanced Vehicle Fabricator. And then when I don't need the Advanced Vehicle Fabricator, I'll break that one down to build myself the Advanced Survival Fabricator. At some point, I will have all of them, but right now I don't. And this is the easiest way to craft the different things. On the topic of vehicles, don't forget to get yourself the welding torch as soon as possible. This one has a repair quality of 90%, while the Mark III one has it of 83%. And then with the skills of the plantologist together of vehicle repair, if you then pull it out to actually repair something, there's going to be barely any decay on the part. Like, I have been having these wings now for 40 hours? Yeah. And they're still on that Ornithopter. Same goes for the engine. I mean, the engine is 50%. It started at 50%. 50% durability when I got it. Because this is one of the found engines. Look how hey, it's still sitting at 47%. Yay. The generator a bit lower because it'll get actually shot at. And the final thing you want to have is your deep desert base in the E row of the deep desert in the PvE area to make farming that much easier. You will begin with a small spice refinery, work yourself towards the medium chemical refinery so you can make stravidium fiber, and then you can also start making plastanium inside your deep desert base. And with plastanium, the first thing you're going to build is your medium spice refinery. This is the building you want, 68 spice melange. Instead of paying 1,000 spice sand for 10 spice melanges, it's only going to be 750 spice sand for 10 spice melanges. And the large spice refinery, that would obviously be the dream, the big one for a solo player. Costs you 500 spice melange. I already have 210 of that, plus the 68 that are currently in my big box. And you need tons of plastanium ingots. But I'll be damned if I don't get this as a solo player and then revamp the whole base because this thing is positively, yeah, it's kind of large. Now, if you want to know how to build that deep desert base, or again, the Scout versus Assault Ornithopter discussion, enjoy. Have a fantastic good day.